Association, thank you for coming here and giving us your support. I'm sure that you are the selected ones, to prioritize this coverage, over the visit of a VIP to the country. So thank you very much for taking the time. So let me start by wishing you Selamat Hari Raya Aidilfitri, Maaf Zahir dan Batin, Kullu Am wa Antum Bikhair. May this Shawwal bring blessings to you and your loved ones. I'm honored to have been given the mandate from the board members as the interim chair of MTA, and I will be walking you through the Takaful industry performance of 2024, along with highlights of our achievements and initiatives. I'll also share briefly our direction for 2025 as we progress in enhancing our services to better serve and meet the rakyat at their level of need towards greater inclusivity. Ladies and gentlemen, Malaysia registered a commendable 5.1% economic growth of 2024, driven by domestic demand and rebound in exports, reflecting favorable labour market conditions, policies, and further progress in catalytic initiatives under the National Master Plan. Bank Negara Malaysia remains steadfast in discharging its duty in promoting financial stability to sustain growth. Continued emphasis was placed on initiatives to elevate the role of Islamic finance in promoting sustainable economic growth and enhancing social justice. BNN also has strengthened the regulatory environment to promote value-based intermediation towards strengthening Malaysia's position as an international gateway for Sharia-compliant finance and protection solutions. Ladies and gentlemen, these measures have borne fruit accordingly as the Takaful industry remain resilient and well capitalized. Takaful fund assets expanded to 13.9% market share of the total conventional and Takaful fund assets from 11.6% last year. This is now valued at 59.6 billion, up from 55.7 billion last year. Additionally, the Takaful's industry share of total net contribution increased to 23.9% in 2024 from 23.4% in 2023. In ringgit terms, Takaful net contribution stood at 19 billion ringgit compared to 17.3 billion ringgit in 2023, attributable to the growth of both family and general Takaful. Capital adequacy ratio also remained at a healthy position at 226.7%, almost comparable to last year, and definitely useful given the uncertain economic environment as well. This resilience enabled Takaful operators to continue meeting the needs of the rakyat. In 2024, Takaful operators collectively paid out 10.2 billion ringgit in benefits. Of this, 77% or 7.9 billion was disbursed by family Takaful, while general Takaful honored 2.3 billion ringgit. This total payout is actually an increase of 16.7% over the previous year, underscoring the industry's commitment and responsiveness to support certificate holders in their critical time of need. And of the total payout in 2024, 2.6 billion, or slightly above a quarter, was actually for medical and health Takaful benefits. This was a 20% increase over 2023. The increase in benefit paid is representative of the importance of having adequate financial protection and greater awareness of having a safety net for self and loved ones. I am pleased to also report that awareness is translating into action. Acceptance of Takaful products outpaced population growth of 700,000 people, with 993,000 new family Takaful certificates issued throughout the year. This brought the total 6.69 million certificates at the close of last year, accounting for certificate replacements, expiries, terminations over the same period. This modestly higher figure also means that more Malaysians now have Takaful coverage. Correspondingly, total new gross contribution was 9.73 billion, a slight improvement from 9.59 billion registered in 2023. Likewise, contributions from business in-force rose to 9.6 billion in 2024 from 8.97 billion previously. This translated to a 7.2% growth. It is yet another indication that industry-wide awareness initiatives are resulting in tangible outcomes. The rise in business in-force signals retention in participants as Malaysians continue fulfilling their contribution obligations. The business in-force sum participated, meaning the value of coverage in totality for the Takaful industry also expanded, recording a 7.87% growth from 1.44 trillion to 1.55 trillion ringgit, signaling greater appreciation as well as protection for Takaful amongst Malaysians. In terms of contributions by channel for family Takaful, Banker Takaful extended its leadership position to 52% of the market from 48.68% in 2023. Agency channel also grew their market share. Their activities account for 25.56% for 2024 compared to 23.17% a year prior. This highlights the importance of human element in engaging with the rakyat. The industry continues to actively seek and attract new talents in pursuing a career in Takaful. Close to 27,000 new family Takaful agents have joined the industry in 2024 and bringing the total number of family Takaful agents to almost 93,000. With more representatives in the field to serve a growing population, penetration rate held firm at 19.57%. This is noteworthy as it kept pace with Malaysia's population growth of 700,000 people. This was more than the 678,500 population growth in 2023, which was already at a 10-year high. Bear in mind that as the base population rises, penetration rate would fall if no new active certificates are added. We also looked at data over a longer period and we noted significant upward trend in the average Takaful payout and number of certificates in force, especially in the last 3 years when compared to the 3 years prior. In 2022 to 2024, average increase in Takaful benefit payout per certificate was 1.54 billion. Average increase in Takaful benefit payout per year was 1.54 billion, and this quantum is almost fourfold compared to the average increase in Takaful payout per year for the period 2019 to 2021. In the same 3-year period ending 2024, the average number of in-force family Takaful certificates was 6.64 million, whereas it was 5.58 million between 2019 to 2021. Correspondingly, new business contribution averaged 9.79 billion for 2022 to 2024 versus 7.08 billion for 2019 to 2021. And if we compare the average benefit payout per certificate, it has risen over 200%, more than double when comparing between the two periods. In the early period of 2019 to 2021, the average payout per certificate was about 70,000 ringgit. Now it has risen to 230,000 ringgit, which means that there are more compensation and more financial security to all who actually participate in Takaful. Medical and health benefit alone also experienced a 182% surge when comparing the average payout per year between the two periods, from 1.19 billion in 2019 to 2021 to 2.17 billion in 2022 to 2024. Nevertheless, the industry is unwavering in honouring our commitment to supporting the rakyat. We are cognizant that we cannot be complacent. The industry is working hard to expand the reach of Takaful. The larger the population, the greater the effort needed. We believe there's always room for improvement to create positive impact and address a critical need for protection to build resilience. Ladies and gentlemen, on the general Takaful front, I'm also pleased to share that the industry maintained a positive momentum from 2023 to 2024. Gross written contribution rose year on year to 5.91 billion from 5.45 billion, representing above 8% growth. Gross direct contribution saw a corresponding 8.41% uptick from 5.44 to 5.9 billion in 2024. This was largely driven by Motor Takaful as it continued to dominate, accounting for 68.77% of gross written contribution. This performance was underpinned by Malaysia's record high sales of new vehicles in 2024 of 816,000, surpassing the 800,000 unit mark for the first time. With Motor Takaful representing the lion's share, motor claims proportionally accounted for the majority of general Takaful claims paid at 2.04 billion, or more than 88% of the total claims paid. In 2023, motor claims only totaled about 1.72 billion, so it represents a significant increase as well. In the non-motor classes, it is noteworthy that Fire Takaful has greater uptake. In 2024, it recorded 1 billion gross written contribution, rising 7.27% from the previous period. The recent incident, which made international headlines, is a stark reminder of how important it is to have not just self and loved ones protected, but also our assets, our houses are adequately covered. The industry will continue to emphasize the options available to the rakyat. Takaful operators have spread its services to the underserved market, where more new coverage such as cyber risk Takaful being introduced alongside more EV Takaful for motor vehicles being provided to manage the increase in risk and its demand. In terms of distribution, agency continued to be the primary channel for general Takaful. Its contribution grew year on year from 61.29% to 62.67%. And Banker Takaful experienced encouraging growth too, increasing 13.63% from 2023. And with greater proliferation of digital adoption, internet sales channel continued to gain ground at 16.58% compared to 5.79% in 2023. This reflected well on national strategic priorities to elevate the financial literacy via safe, confident and meaningful usage of digital financial services. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to share that MTA has made significant strides forward in 2024 to advance the implementation of value-based intimidation of Takaful, or VBIT in short, with the launch of Maqasid Sharia Scorecard, or MSS in short, in October 2024. This pioneering initiative aims to track the key performance indicators and outcomes that reflect the core values of Islamic finance. MSS incorporates Maqasid Sharia parameters to help Takaful operators measure their KPIs based on key thrusts of the VBIT framework, primarily on supporting vulnerable communities and fostering inclusivity. A briefing was conducted about 4 months ago to guide all Takaful operators on how to conduct self-assessment and complete the Makasih Syariah Scorecard. Thereafter, an analysis of Takaful operators will be produced and with completion targeted by the end of first half 2025. Another BBIT initiative is a pilot social Takaful program using a blended Takaful approach for the unserved and underserved segments. This initiative blends benevolent funds with Takaful contributions and private funds to provide affordable protection to vulnerable groups, including micro-entrepreneurs, in a sustainable manner. The program aims to promote inclusive protection in line with the VBIT goals of empowerment and sustainability in Takaful solutions. The program is also expected to utilize the government grant on annual Takaful contributions for micro-entrepreneurs under ITCAT as announced in Budget 2025. To reflect progress made in VBIT integration, MTA is compiling a report of the industry initiatives, its intended impact and status, as well as the amount dispersed in relation to achieving these targets. This will be published before the second half of 2025. Beyond this, we also continue to engage with the rakyat through a series of purposeful initiatives in Semenanjung and East Malaysia to promote Takaful for all. There were a total of 219 ground events attended by 372,000 throughout the year. It's a very, very busy year indeed. And these programs comprise the grassroots-centered Takaful Masuk Kampung, Kanima Celik Kewangan in collaboration with BNM through the Financial Education Network focused on digital financial literacy among local communities, the youth, college and university students, school children and even small and medium enterprises. Hashtag Feed Your Finances, financial literacy program which made Takaful the first entity in the financial sector to directly engage technical and vocational education and training TVET students on protection, awareness and financial readiness. Takaful for All Sustainability Day theme, Protect, Care, Sustain in Taman Tugu, KL to promote sustainability and environmental responsibility within the Takaful industry and wider community. It involved various activities like 5 km, green run, a zero waste lifestyle workshop. There was also a launch of the Takaful for All disaster team in December 2024 in collaboration with the Malaysian Fire and Rescue Department, or BOMBA, as we all know it, to provide training and logistical aid to communities affected by disaster. And this relief team was also deployed during the Putra Heights gas pipeline explosion. And in the spirit of ta'awun, or mutual assistance, and rahmah, empathy, to provide immediate relief, guidance, and claims assistance to affected certificate holders and surrounding communities. Key measures have also been announced, including fast-track claims processing, simplified claims procedures, and on-ground assistance to those affected. And also, Takaful for All Cares, the industry collective cooperation social responsibility platform, contributed 10,000 ringgit to Masjid Putra Heights for the distribution of food and essential supplies to victims and volunteers of the gas pipeline tragedy. These initiatives reinforce our mission to build a financially literate, resilient society grounded in the values of mutual assistance and empowerment. In addition, the Takaful industry also channeled zakat to value-based social development initiative to deliver positive and sustainable impact for the community. Zakat is more than just a social Sharia obligation. It is a powerful mechanism to drive social impact that reinforces the ethical and social foundations of our industry. It promotes our commitment, inclusivity, shared prosperity, and delivering real impact. ensuring that Takaful is not just a financial product, but a force for good through targeted community programs in healthcare, education, and disaster relief. For example, Jelajah Takaful for All, Santuni Asnaf, the industry contributed more than 10,000 ringgit for financial support through their corporate zakat wakala. And in conjunction with the 40th anniversary of the Takaful industry, 30 masjid received 45,000 contribution in total. And for the first 6 months of 2024, based on unaudited interim condensed financial statements, the industry had amassed more than 31 million ringgit in zakat, which will be used to improve the living conditions for the underprivileged throughout Malaysia. It is anticipated that the zakat amount that will be accumulated for the year 2024 will surpass the total zakat contribution in 2023 of 50 million. Another defining features of Takaful is surplus sharing, a practice rooted in mutual cooperation and fairness. When there is surplus in the refund after paying up all the claims and reserve required, it is distributed among participants and operators based on pre-agreed ratios. This reinforces the spirit of solidarity and equity that makes Takaful unique. It is not just about protection, but also about sharing of risk and reward in a way that upholds trust, transparency, and Sharia values. In 2024, the Takaful operators distributed 1.34 billion in surplus and benefit related to occurrence of great disease to eligible participants. Surplus sharing is a powerful example that in Takaful we grow and succeed together. Participants in any Takaful plan are partners in a system built on mutual benefit and shared responsibility. Ladies and gentlemen, now looking ahead, we remain cautiously optimistic for 2025. Our economy is projected to grow between 4.5% to 5.5%, powered primarily by domestic demand. Currently, the uncertainties unfolding at a global scale pose risk to our economy. The key to building resilience is a reliable social safety net and financial protection for the rakyat. This will help support the growth and development of the nation. On this note, MTA is collaborating with stakeholders on efforts to promote the long-term sustainability and affordability of private medical and health insurance and Takaful, or MHIT in short. Interim measures are in place to assist affected certificate holders. Over the long term, structural reforms to address underlying drivers of medical inflation will be crucial in ensuring continued access to protection against healthcare financing needs for the public. Indeed, this is a complex matter that requires the concerted action of all stakeholders across the healthcare ecosystem, including Ministry of Health, private healthcare providers, as well as the insurance and Takaful industry. MTA will continue coordinating industry-wide efforts to enhance awareness and visibility of Takaful as the preferred Sharia-compliant choice to protect finances, assets, and health of Malaysians. We are focused on positioning ourselves as a catalyst for Takaful industry transformation and growth. And in line with the aspiration to elevate the entire Takaful industry, the association has conceptualized, with the help of previous practitioners, stakeholders, CEOs, and members of the Takaful industry, developed the Hijrah 27 Strategic Transformation Blueprint. The blueprint encompasses the implementation roadmap and performance dashboard. The Hijrah 27 Blueprint includes forwards by both BNM and MIFC, which speaks to the credibility and substance of the document. The Hijrah 27 Blueprint is designed to usher in a new Takaful landscape focused on accelerating quality growth for the industry and making Takaful the preferred choice for protection amongst the rakyat. Hijrah 27 strategic framework is centered around 8 key strategic thrusts that aim to foster cohesive collaboration with the Islamic finance ecosystem while driving sustainable market growth. At the core of the framework is a mission to broaden our public understanding of Takaful, delivering value-driven product innovation, leveraging digital transformation, strengthening regulatory and governance, elevating the professionalism of Takaful agents and employees, improving communication plans, extending protection to MSMEs, and promoting environmental, social governance commitments, or ESG in short. Under these 8 thrusts are 54 initiatives spread over 17 work groups. The blueprint is responsible to promote unity and collaboration in the industry, as we are proud to inform that each of these 17 work groups are championed by a CEO of a Takaful operator, each focusing on different area but working as one for the industry. This is the heart of the Takaful industry, with the right culture, having a united and disciplined front, and collaboration across the industry for mutual benefit for all that Takaful touches. Although newly minted in 2024, the industry is making incredible progress, with 8% of these initiatives taken off ground and accumulated completion status of 52%. With a stellar project management team dedicated to overseeing the progress and assisting in implementation of the blueprint, the Hijrah 27 blueprint is poised to mark a significant milestone in the Takaful journey. Ladies and gentlemen, as I draw my speech to close, I extend my heartfelt congratulations to all MTA members for your unwavering commitment and resilience. The collective spirit and effort you embody are the cornerstone of our industry and enduring strength. Thank you for the outstanding contributions. I also wish to express our gratitude to the respected stakeholders who have played pivotal roles in fostering the growth of Takaful in Malaysia. This includes B&M, the agency force, and most importantly, the customer who have placed their trust in us. Merdu bertingkah alunan suara, kadang tak sedar tersilap kata, andai terlanjur patah bicara, serendah hati kemaafan dipinta. Thank you once again.
Nika from BFM. Just have a couple of questions. The first one is, considering that the medical inflation is rising, according to Takaful Malaysia, they said that last year is 11.9% and this year is expected to increase to 13%. And also based on the presentation, you showed that about 2.6 billion were paid for medical and health benefits. So I just want to ask, how is this inflation will affect the sustainability and pricing strategies of family Takaful products in Malaysia? And my second question is on the Putra Heights fires. So do you have the data on how many people have actually filed the claims and what's the total amount of claims?
Okay. Thanks for the question. I think as mentioned and also been reported quite widely, the medical health insurance at Takaful. The medical health insurance at Takaful, the MHIT situation is complex and multifaceted issues on its own. And Bank Negara has very wisely came in and provided interim measure to ensure that there's certainty in the market in terms of first providing guidance in terms of the amount of increase that can happen year on year for the next 3 years. So that will hopefully allow people to plan and manage their budget ahead of time as well. At the same time, also requiring pause on any increase for people aged above 60 years old for a year, and for Takaful operators and as well as insurers to provide a lower and alternative option for people to move into more affordable solutions. But these are interim measures, and for us as MTA, we are also working very closely with all stakeholders. Bank Negara has also outlined a plan in terms of, now this is interim measures, but we need a structural reform in order to stabilize and also move to a more sustainable solution. And without going into details, I think there are 5 key thrusts I think that Bengar has outlined. One is in relation to greater price transparency, especially by the hospitals on cost of common procedures, medicine. The second one is also in relation to payment mechanism. How do we make it more efficient payments mechanism, such as imposition of diagnosis-related group payments or DRGs. And the third one is to provide to come up with more affordable medical solution from an industry perspective in order to cater for more Malaysians and also for people that can afford the current medical plans to also be able to move to this more affordable solution in the future. The fourth is working with the MOH. We have rakyat and KKM or non-profit hospitals. How do we expand their reach? How do we expand their services in order to cater for more Malaysians itself, right? And the fifth one is to create more awareness around this area to promote that choice amongst customers. Pass on to Putra.
Yeah, Assalamualaikum. So our prayer to all those involved in the Putra High incidents, as been presented by our chairman just now. Basically, Takaful industry has mobilized. In fact, the day itself, we have on-ground team already there. Basically, try to assist and assess, the damages from the situation. And as per estimated by Bomba, approximately about this incident actually have resulted in about 65 million base in terms of the impact, right, losses. And due to the demographics of the population over there, basically we expect that a lot of our participants is basically also reside over there, and with that basically, in fact, on the second day itself, we basically mobilize our Takaful care teams over there. All the 4 general Takaful operators have their booths basically to assist in either addressing to queries as well as basically like speeding up the claim as mentioned by Chairman also. We speed up the claims, make the simplified claims, and also have everything there basically for their convenience. And as the number that being claim paid by the industry is still basically we are collecting the numbers, but definitely we expect that majority or we have like a big share over there in paying the claim in Putra incidents.
Thank you, Chairman. So any next question? We open for the next question. Anyone? Yeah.
Hi, I am Anas from Bernama. So the PAC have recently conducted few hearings and proceedings on the recent premium high issue and all. So they already come up with suggestion on any improvement to MTA, and if so, what are the example of the suggestion?
Yes, I think the PAC has called even the industry into it. From what I gathered, the PAC has not issued any particular reports or recommendation yet, and I think they're probably expecting it to be the second half of the year to come up with the report. But of course, from industry perspective, we've actually made a few recommendations to the PAC, and recommendations actually align with what Bengar has also put in place as their 5 key strategies of trust. So,
if I may add, basically, I was there. Basically, MTA was there in all the both PAC hearing as well as the PSC basically sitting together with Liam. These are the areas that we are attending with Liam. And I believe that while the report as mentioned by our chairman is still in progress basically, but the take that we can get from the concluding remarks from the PSC members is that we have these 3 years already been provided to the whole community, basically, in order for us to basically resolve this issue. And by the end of the 3 years, if there's nothing happens, basically, then things can be escalated. However, as we can see, now there's a lot of traction, not only from the industry, insurance industry, also the regulator, together with MOH and all the stakeholders, including the private hospital, working together on addressing this, because this is an issue that it's not a win-win situation, it's a lose-lose situation for everyone. Okay? So we hope that situation will get better, and with these 3 years basically buffer that we provided by Takaful, by the insurance and Takaful industry from the interim measure, they can be utilized also by other stakeholders in order to address this issue.
All right, thank you. For any other questions? All right, please.
Hi, I'm Laila from RTM. I would like to ask, still on the height things, do you see any increase in terms of demand in terms of the Takaful after that incident?
Okay, if I can equate this incident, basically every major incident, be it the flood in 2021, even the COVID MCO, like in 2020, as well as this Putra High, there's always basically indirectly create a greater awareness in terms of the need of protection, not only for Takaful but also for the insurance. And I believe that by the solidarity that we showed by the Takaful industry as well as insurance industry in addressing, people have more basically good perception over the industry in terms of providing protection rather than just for the commercial purpose. So to answer you basically, while it is common for the Takaful industry, when we have incidents like this, we also not only following through with our system to our participants, but we are also creating a lot of awareness through media as well as through education, not only to the rakyat, but also through the distribution channel like agents to inculcate better understanding in terms of the need for protection. And hopefully we will be able to see, like for example, as you can see in the presentation by our chairman earlier, there is an increase in terms of the flood protection that being actually acquired. When people are getting more flood protection because of the flood in 2021, more than 200% increase in terms of the take up. And hopefully, this incident in Putra High also will create some awareness on that. Thank you.
Any questions? Correct? Any other questions?
Hi, Shakira from NSC. So I'm asking a question about the interim measures as well. So the interim measures is expected to keep the increase of under 10% for almost 80% of the Takaful players. So for Takaful players, will this impact you? And if you do, how bad will you be impacted? And do you have any strategies to mitigate?
Well, I think in short, generally there will be impact because inflation rate in 2024, even from 2022 to 2023, has been about 16% per annum, and the price increase is capped at 10%, and generally we have that. In terms of the overall impact on absolute numbers, we don't have that data.
We did some assessment with our members, and we collected about 800 million for the Takaful industry, and as been announced by the CEO of IAM, the impact for the insurance industry is about 4.5 billion because of the non-collected premium or contribution, let's say, and that is quite actually a significant impact to us. And to answer the question, as we mentioned by our chairman also, there's a lot. In fact, it's all nationwide kind of approach that need to be undertaken between the Takaful insurance industry, the private hospital, MOH as well as the regulator. So it's not just one action by one industry, but it's basically a collaborative development, as we mentioned much earlier.
Thank you.
Thank you. If we can take any other questions? Other questions?
Hello, it's from the Edge. I would like to ask on the co-payment for Malaysian Takaful. So is there any, is MTA considering guidelines to regulate the co-payment? So to avoid the excessive of out-of-pockets. So any guidelines that MTA is considering?
Well, I think guidelines for the co-payment has been issued by Bank Negara under the guidelines for MHIT in general. And there's a range of approach that companies can use from a co-payment of using a percentage term to at least deductible of 500 ringgit. So I think there are varying options within the industry and by the different operators based on their commercial strategy, based on the understanding of the customers. So I would recommend that that there are options available depending on, and the options will also create optionality in terms of cost to customers, affordability to customers. So I think customers should shop that wisely as well in order to determine what's best for them.
And having said that, basically, what we do also in the industry, especially talking to the front line, basically, for them to basically do the customer fact finding and also their advice to the customer to improve, to make sure that the customer can decide what will be the best level of co-payment that they can afford. Yeah, so that they can actually get the best that fits to their affordability as well as their future financial planning, overall financial planning.
Any questions? I believe there's a lot of questions on the MHIT, the hot topic.
What is your key strategic focus for 2025?
Alright, so since 2022, we have been basically doing a year-on-year basically strategic objective. However, at the end, as been presented much earlier, at the end of 2024, basically we issued this Hijrah transformation plan, Hijrah 27, for the next 4 years basically. We want to strengthen the Takaful in line with the aspiration by the Malaysian Islamic Financial Center to strengthen the Takaful as one of the core offering of the Islamic finance. And we have two strategies basically in order for us to achieve that. We want to basically improve people understanding about Takaful, about and making it as a household name, meaning to say the first choice of protection. And secondly, we want to increase the penetration. As we know, basically the world entering into a very challenging phase where you have this development, globally, right? So, but for Takaful, basically, but for us, our transformation plan is it begins by looking at unserved and underserved areas, which is like, for example, in terms of the segment of demography, we are actually focusing on increasing the penetration to the P40, which is largely not protected right now. That's why we have this One Asna, One Takaful, as well as One Karya, One Takaful program that really go out. And we do go out to the masses, since 2022, we have this Takaful Masuk Kampung, where we actually go to all the suburban area and promoting about financial literacy. And as mentioned by our chairman also, Takaful industry is the first industry in the financial institution, Islamic and conventional, that actually focusing financial literacy for the vocational or TVET students, because we know. And in fact, for the 2021, we have 2022 basically, we have a first program of involve about 200 students, but in 2023-2024, at the range of 700 students a year basically. We plan to continue that with our partners. So we saw that another area that is underserved, like for example the micro SME and SME area, that will be another area of focus, and that will provide growth for the industry. To answer you basically, the focus will be more all-encompassing, but the target is purely and mainly this year to increase the awareness, to increase the literacy among the underserved and also the unserved of the industry.
Hello, it's me again. You mentioned about you're cautiously optimistic on the outlook for this year, but do you have like a target of double-digit growth on your premium, I mean the growth written premiums on the both for the Takaful and the general? So maybe you can give like a double-digit growth.
We don't actually set our target by numbers per se, because as we presented, what we are actually target in terms of the life that we touch and then the value that we bring. But at the end of Hijrah journey, we aim to become the leader in both basically family and Takaful, by aiming to have the like 51% market share in all the areas that we have. So in that direction for the next 4 years, it is basically our strategy is to set an achievable target year on year. And of course, in the first 2 years of the implementation, we'll be involving a lot in establishing and also developing the fundamental for that growth. And hopefully by 26 and 27, we'll be able to see a higher growth. In fact, as we presented earlier by our chairman also, we can see that despite a very challenging years last year, starting from 2023, we see a downward trend. I mean, not only for Takaful, but also for insurance. You can see there is growth in Takaful industry. All areas that we presented is growth. Not that it's minimum, but that minimum is very, very challenging for us to basically maintain. We hope that with this basically fundamental, in 2026, 2027, we will have an accelerated growth as we aspire basically. But all this is not something that we leave it to basically keadaan or condition. We are actually planned for the growth. We hope that this growth will be more sustainable, and if not, it will be basically a good foundation for us to grow moving forward. In fact, the Takaful industry is one of the only industry that has two things that is basically unique. One is that an industry plan for growth, and secondly is that we also have the most comprehensive project management that involving everyone, each and every Takaful operator and the CEO themselves as a driver for this particular plan that we want to achieve.